Talishar Tourney number 5 is about to kick off. Our Living Legend round 1 is coming at you right now. Dromai versus Icelander. What a matchup to start the day off with. We have 10 players competing today for some pretty sweet prizes. We're going to be giving it out. I was talking to the players, and they did want to actually cut to top 8. So we're actually going to have 4 rounds, and we're going to cut the top 8 after that. And looking at a pretty cool match to start with here, because this was a really fun matchup to see and to play in CC. From both the Dromai and the Icelander perspective, I feel like there was a lot of very good back and forth play here. And the one thing that really sets us off here is that our Dromai player starts off by putting 3 Ether Ashwings into play by playing Rake the Embers. What an insanely good start to this game. Winner's Bite here for Brick to be able to kick this off to try and get some tempo rolling back and forth on this side. And they're going to put an Insidious Chill into play. Okay, so we're seeing both players having some good early setup here, really starting to put everything into play. And then it's going to be Invoke Mirror Guy. All right. This is very reminiscent for me of what CC was like back in the day. I actually really enjoyed that CC format and playing that. I played a lot of Icelander when she was legal, so I played this matchup quite a bit. And this is really cool to see this to start our day off with. Okay, the Mirror Guy gets a Frostbite thrown in front of it, just trying to save a little bit of life here. I'm curious to see how Jude follows up here. Oh, let's go. A Blaze Headlong, really just trying to apply pressure. Not really setting up any more dragons or anything. I mean, 3 Ether Ashwings and a Mirror Guy is a pretty good start to this game as far as setting up and having some good board presence here. But the Blaze Headlong really looking to apply a lot of pressure. Okay, Brick says no blocks here, and 4 comes across. Brick falls down to 32, and then we have an Ether Ashwing in play. All right, coming in for 1 here. Now, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting, because if Brick has something like a Frosting in Arsenal, he could target the Ether Ashwing and really start to make that happen, so that could be pretty cool. All right, so Jude pitches a red to activate Furnace, prevents 2, and then the Ether Hell comes across for 2 more, I assume. No, actually targeting the Frostbite. Or I'm sorry, targeting the Ether Ashwing, which is a play that I actually really like. Being able to target the Ether Ashwing with a card like Ether Hail or Frosting is really cool, and it can actually just stifle the turn out of nowhere. One of the things that I will say that I think the Icelander does struggle with is things like Mirror Guy, for example, because it is 4 health, and it's very hard to get a blue card into Arsenal that can deal 4 like that. You're really looking at Emeritus Scolding, which I don't think targets anything. So it's really tough to get those off the board. You really have to line that up with poppers or something like that. Okay, Brick has a Cold Snap here, which is looking pretty good. And then with the Frostbite in play, Jude is going to activate Furnace to go up to 2 resources here. Let's see here. So the Cold Snap resolves, and now Azvali comes into play. So looking at the Storm of Sanda guy here, it looks like we're going to have to spend 1 to be able to attack. Or no, I'm sorry. We don't have any Frostbites. We don't need to spend 1 to attack. At least I don't think so, right? I don't think we do. Okay, Waning Moon. Yeah, it's just a cost 0 attack. It's like crazy Luminaris good, which is wild to think about. So Mirror Guy comes across for 2, and then the Ether Ashwing comes in for 1. Okay. Brick falling down to 29 here, and then another Ether Ashwing coming in for 1. Brick goes to 28. I imagine the Azvali will not come across. Ooh, I would not have picked the Azvali to come across. I would have thought that he wanted to save a popper here, to be honest. I would not have picked this. And then Brick throws a Scour in front. Okay. So it's interesting because those aren't auras. They are dragon allies. Although admittedly the yellow Ether Icebane here gets to take probably a couple of cards out of hand here. What do we target here? Yeah, he targets Jude. Oh, Jude draws up blue though to be able to pay for the Insidious Chill trigger here, and then pitches another card to pay 2 and takes some damage, falls to 33. I'm a little surprised that Brick did not throw that at the Mirror Guy, to be honest, since it has 4 health. Let's see. To any target, yeah. So again, I'm a little surprised there, looking at that play pattern, that we weren't trying to get more value there by getting the Mirror Guy off the board. But maybe Brick feels like he needs to go upstairs. Mirror Guy comes in for 2. The 5 Ether Ashwings are tough. You know, it's you don't really want to give up poppers to Ether Ashwings here, but at the same time, you're already down 8 life early on in the game, so you're really going to have to be careful at how much life you're willing to take here to try and keep pushing. So I imagine if Brick has a popper, he might give one up here. It's what, turn 4 now, and Brick hasn't had a popper yet, which is a little surprising, to be honest. It's a little surprising, but that's okay. All right, so Brick down to 21 here. Brick's about to go to 20. Really taking a lot of damage from these Ether Ashwings here. Man, forgot how good that these were. Like, the Ashwings are actually just insane. Like, there's so much value. And them having AB built in is just, like, crazy good. Plus, one thing I hadn't really considered is that Dromai now has access to Calming Gesture, which is really sweet, and can also make a Spectral Shield if needed in certain situations. Okay, a red Ether Ice Vein here. Fusing with a Hypothermia. Hypothermia getting a lot of value in this matchup as these do not have natural go again. So the Hypothermia is really looking to get a lot of value. What did we target? The Judester was targeted. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna get a lot of cards here. So Jude goes up to 36, pitches to activate Furnace. And in response, Brick is going to play Waning Moon to put him down to 2. And then he's going to take 2, have nothing to discard from the red Ether Ice Vein here. And it's 32 to 19. And yep, there it is. There it is. Jude's going to come in with the Asvalai. Now, notably, there is no go again and nothing else to come in with here. So Brick could just take 3. Okay, plays the Insidious Chill now. Looking to get more value out of the Insidious Chill. And give a Frostbite. We're not really stopping anything with the Frostbite here, but I still think that if Brick has a good hand on his turn, it is a reasonable play to put the Insidious Chill in now, because it does have the effect of not taking your action point. Okay, fusing with a red Ether Hail. Okay, Brick is looking to get some value here. Brick's really trying to push the tempo and trying to make this happen. So looking at this here, we have 2 Insidious Chill triggers. He pitches 2. Insidious Chill trigger. Ooh, wow. Sandcover looking so good right here. Sandcover getting all the value. So Sandcover actually blocks 4 on the Ether Ice Vein, and then he's able to pay 2 from the Insidious Chill, go down to 1 resource, and then pay 1. Or I guess, no, he doesn't have to, right? He actually doesn't have to do that because he can just discard a card and there's no cards in hand. All right, and yet again, here we see it. Asvalai coming in one more time. Man, like the value here, especially since he knows that Brick has a red Ether Hail in his arsenal. Brick should probably block a little bit here if I had to guess. I would think that we're looking to block both the Arcane and the Physical on the Dragon. Now, it is worth noting that Brick does only have AB1, which is only has AB2 from the Stormstriders here. Choosing to run the Stonewall Gauntlet over actually running a Metacarpus nodes, which is interesting because I remember when Icelander was in CC, we played Stormstriders in this matchup to be able to try to go for the win. Plus, it had AB1 built in, so it kind of was, or not Stormstriders. I'm sorry, the Metacarpus node. So it was kind of having both aspects there. Okay, so another sand cover, eats the Ether Hell, and Jude takes 2 from the Waning Moon. Ooh, interesting. Are we going to play something at instant speed here? Play like a Sigil of Solace and activate Flamescale Furnace is maybe the play here. Maybe what we're looking to do right now. I don't know. It's interesting to not having like played or pitched something beforehand is an interesting play. Not something I remember seeing too often, but it's also been a long time since I've seen Dromai, so could just be one of those things that we're seeing here. All right, so Asvalai comes across. The 1 Arcane is dealt, puts Brick down to 15. Now we have 2 Physical coming at Brick. Now, if I remember correctly, he still has the Insidious Chill with 2 counters on it. Okay. Yep. Is it if you've played a red card? Is that what it is? Yeah, it's if you've played a red. I thought it was if you've pitched a red card. Again, I haven't seen Dromai in a long time, so it's if you've played a red card. So giving the Asvalite Go Again with the Sigil of Solace, and then following it up with the Blaze Headlong. Okay, so one of those if you've played a red card hands, and Sigil of Solace is really fitting that like mold of what Jude needed to see to be able to give Go Again to most of his cards. It looked like here. So it's Asvalite, and then it's 5 Ether Ashwings to follow it up, and it doesn't look like Brick has a popper here. Not like yeah, it's not looking like Brick really has a popper here. Okay, another Ether Ashwing coming in here. Although there was a Frostbite played this time by him putting the Insidious Chill into play. Was that the 3rd Insidious Chill? Did I see that correctly? Wow, all 3 Insidious Chills in 7 turns is pretty solid. Hopefully Brick can find something to pair with them. Although the 1 Frostbite, not enough to really stifle Jude's turn here. So Brick falls all the way down to 7, but has managed to set up another Insidious Chill. Ooh, Burn Them All looking really good with Brick not having access to AB1. This would be a completely different story if Brick was actually able to pitch a blue to block both sections of the Arcane here. Would be very good. Would be very, very good. Is Burn Them All on the first one? When a dragon you control attacks. Yeah, it's a once per turn action. That's what I thought, so that makes sense. Really, like, just getting off the first one there. Man, seeing all of these cards is really taking me back to, like, Oldham, Icelander, like, that whole format, like, was just such a different game back then. So it's funny. It's fun to see how, like, we're kind of, like, traveling back in time here a little bit is what it feels like. Okay. Looking to get value off the Blizzard here. Blizzard looking really strong here. Let's see. Oh, he did. He had the Passing Mirage. Insane. Passing Mirage pays the 2 and then gives him the ability to pay 1 for the Frostbite to be able to throw the Blaze Headlong. I could be wrong, but I think this is it right here. This is going to be Ashwings all the way down, and Brick is going to have to block 2 of the Ashwings, and then the Mirror guy is going to come in. Yeah. So there's 2 more coming in here. This one puts Brick down to 1, I imagine. No, giving up Tunic here. Giving up Tunic, okay. So we've now given up the Tunic, and this one puts him to 1, I imagine. Yep, okay. And then the Mirror guy comes in for 2. Gives Coronet Peak, okay. Okay, so Brick's trying to make something happen here. I mean, listen, I respect it. Hanging on to the very end. Doing anything we can to make it happen right here. Doing anything we can. I'm going to be honest, I would really like to know how this game would have played out if Brick would have been using Ether Hells to clear the Mirror guys, the Asvalize, and maybe trying to like Arsenal Frostings and things like that to set up to try and clear the board a little bit. Because don't get me wrong, as Icelander, you can't clear the board all the time, but you do have a little bit of play where you can in some situations. So I would be curious to know how the game would have played out that way. Blue Ether Ice Vein, double Insidious Chill Trigger. Okay. Now, this is very good. What is the Ether Ice Vein targeting? It is targeting Jude. Okay. So the Insidious Chill triggers no longer matter here because he has no cards in hand. And then he's pitching these. Yep. And then there's 4 resources floating. And I think we're about to see the end here because Brick has no Arcane. And that's just going to end it. I mean, honestly, we just kind of saw... we just saw Dromai do Dromai things and kind of run over Icelander. That happened more than once during CC games that I saw back in the day. Not super surprising, but I think there could have been some different play there. It also really didn't look like Brick had any poppers, which I think kind of left him in a bad spot.